Hey kindergarten art friends, it's our last day of the week for our line project. Today we're going to take that paper that we made yesterday and we are going to turn it into a paper weaving. You'll also need a few other things for this. You're going to want your warm color strips to go with our cool color paper. You'll want your glue stick at the very end. We'll glue down the tabs to make sure it doesn't fall off. You'll need your scissors. We'll do a little bit of cutting. And you might want, if you want to add a few more decorations to your papers after we weave, you might want your crayons or your markers, but only the warm color ones. Go ahead and grab your supplies, and I'll switch my camera and we'll get started together. Okay, my supplies are out and ready to go. So yesterday when we decorated with our cool colors, we did it on the back of a paper where I added some lines. These are lines where we're going to cut. We're going to cut just on the inside, not all the way to the end. This is going to stay one piece of paper. And after we cut it, it's going to turn it into our loom. Then we're going to weave our papers in and out, in and out. What's going to happen is we're going to end up making one of those crisscross line patterns with our paper strips here. So the first thing we have to do is we need to fold this paper in half. We're going to fold our lines and hide them on the inside. By folding our paper up, we're going to match up the corners as best we can, and then we press down in the middle and off to the side. Okay, and you press down with your fingers to get a good crease. That's going to keep it still while we do the cutting. If you have an adult might be a great helper to help you get it folded. But if it's not a perfect fold, it'll be okay. Next, we need our scissors. We haven't really used scissors together yet, so let's do a little reminder about what we should do to use our scissors correctly. To use our scissors, our thumb goes in the little hole, and the rest of our fingers fit in the big hole. I have a little pinky out because my hands are a little bigger, but these scissors are perfect size for your hands. When we cut, our thumb goes on top, and the rest of our fingers are on the bottom. Now, when we're cutting, our thumb is going to do most all the work. It's going to lift up and down and up and down as we go across the paper. The other fingers are just holding my scissors still while my thumb goes up and down and moves. The other part of your hands that has to do most of the work is this hand. This is my helper hand. My helper hand's job is to hold my paper steady so that my scissors can go up and down and cut. My thumb, remember, is the only thing moving. It's lifting up and down while these fingers hold them steady, and this helper hand holds my paper steady. It's important when we use our scissors that if we're not cutting, our scissors are closed and they're put down, and they should be out of the way so we can't get hurt. It's important when we're using our scissors, we're only cutting on our papers or the materials that we've been given directions to cut. We don't cut ourselves, our clothing, our hair, our siblings, our pet's hair. No haircuts with these scissors. These are art scissors. To do my cutting, I'm going to pick up my scissors. Remember, my thumb is on top and it goes up and down, it lifts while this hand holds it steady. We're going to cut along the lines all the way to the end. And once you get to the end of the line, I want you to give it just a little extra snip to make sure we have just enough room. But we don't go all the way to the edge. See that I'm leaving some space. We don't want to cut the paper off. We want to cut down the lines and keep it as one piece of paper. See, my helper hand has done the work by really holding my paper steady. My thumb has done the work by lifting up and down, and the rest of my fingers are holding my scissors straight. Remember, if I go too fast, pause the video, finish cutting, and then get caught back up and unpause the video for the next step. When you're ready, we're going to open up our paper back, and we can kind of press back down in the middle where we folded it. in order to weave, we're going to go over and under and over and under. And I think we'll weave on the bottom part will be the easiest to see where we go over and under, because these lines are going to help us. So we're going to take our first strip of paper, and you can do them in any color. These are all warm colors, our reds, oranges, and yellows, and we're going to weave them in with our cool colors here. To weave, we go over one, and then under the next, then over, then under, then over, then under. To help us, we'll lift them up as we go, and we'll slide our paper through. So this part, I'm going to start with over. I'm going to lift this up and go under and keep sliding. And I want this one up because every other one, and I want it on top, then I want it under. Okay, so see, it went every other one. Look, do you see the crisscross pattern? Right, orange, then white, then orange, then white, then orange, then white. So it's kind of like my stripes that go this way and my stripes that go this way when we practiced our pattern and we overlapped our lines. So once I finish, I'm going to slide it all the way to the edge and get it out of the way and pick my next color paper. For this one, I want to go the opposite way that I just did. I started over here, so I'm going to try to start with this one going under. Under, over. I'm going to lift it up and slide it through. So we do have to kind of get in there and move our paper where we want it to go. Remember, we're learning to do something new, so we should be the one trying to do it. Sometimes adults can be helpful to help us get started, but we should do our own artwork. That's how we're going to learn. And weaving is a really fun skill that we'll use over and over again. And we'll use it with lots of different materials, not just with paper. So, see our crisscross coming here? Let's compare our crisscross. See our crisscross pattern? We're making a crisscross as we're weaving our paper strips in. Okay, remember, if I go too fast, I want you to pause and get caught up. We're going to keep this process going over, under, till we do all of our strips of paper. So I want this next one to match my orange one here. So I'm going to start on top. So I'm going to start over, and then I'm going to slide it under. Now over and under. Over and under. Okay, and I slid it down, crisscross another one, and then keep doing that with all of your papers. Pick which color you want to go next, and this one will match my dark red here, right? So I start under, then over. So we have 6 different slips of paper here. So maybe the first one was really hard to do because we were doing it for the first time. But hopefully, as we keep going and we practice with each strip of paper, each time it should get a little bit easier to do the work. Okay, 2 more left to go, my 2 yellows. This one is going to match this one. I'm going opposite, crisscross. Okay, so I start over, and then the next one goes under. And my helper hand is helping to push the paper up, so I can slide the one under, up and under. Okay, so to fit the last one in, it is important that I slid each paper strip all the way down. They want to be touching nice and close to each other, so push them all the way down. We want room to be able to slide our last paper strip, and that's why we cut it a little longer than the black lines to give us a little extra room to work. So this one starts under, then over. The helper hand is helping to push the paper up or down so I can slide the paper strip through. Okay, and then I'll push it up next to the other ones. After I have them all in and they're nice and close together here, I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to glue down the little tabs at the end just to keep it from sliding. So I'll kind of lift that up and put a little dot of glue and push it down. Little dot of glue and push it down. I don't have to put too much. The paper strips are nice and close together, so they should stay pretty well. This is just to keep them exactly in place where I want them to be. Last one. Okay, I glued all my tabs here, and I can flip them over and do the other side. And when I flip them over, I'm going to see how my cool colors and my warm colors got all woven together. All right. I'm going to glue these tabs down. And it'll be like one piece of paper again, even though I made cuts. These new papers are woven in just like we weave fabric. Ta-da! I have my finished piece. So if I wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and twist my glue stick down so it's great for next time. If I wanted to, I could take my markers and my warm colors only, and I could add in a couple more patterns if I wanted to, if there were some line patterns I didn't do. If I wanted to add some extra line decorations to my warm color strips. Now that I've got my tabs glued down, I can add those details in. So you don't have to decorate anymore if you don't want to, but if you want to decorate your little strips to give some extra line patterns to your woven paper, you can do so. This is our first paper weaving. I hope you're really proud of the hard work that you did and that your paper is filled with all these beautiful lines that we've practiced and our warm and cool colors. I will see you next week with our next piece of artwork to make together. Please make sure that you take a picture of your beautiful artwork and send it to me so I can see your finished piece for this week. This is what I want to see of the work that we did together this week. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week for our next bit of art together. Bye!